Hi YouTube, this is Mary. Come to get a little short video. I don't know how it may be about 10 minutes. I don't know how long it takes me to tell this story. But I was going to talk about, how I always talk about this voice. That was an occasion, years ago, I would say back in, had to be in the, in 92, I think 93. I had a small upholstery shop in downtown Dallas. That's where I live, Dallas. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing what I could, and we were barely holding on. But that was the landlord that I paid my rent to. He thought he could ease up my rent if I rented out space to somebody else. So he recommended this guy. So this guy came to me. He was a white guy, and he had a black transvestite as his lover. And back then I had never seen anything like this, but she was African, and she had wearing a Farrah Fawcett wig and all of that. But they wanted to rent out one office space and 400 square feet because they said they were going into moving and storage. Because I did furniture reupholstery, and I worked with a lot of interior decorators, so they said they were going to store furniture, and they didn't have that. They didn't need that much room right then, so I let them. We didn't sign any kind of agreements or anything. I was silly. Me, I didn't know any better. So I noticed they had been in the shop for about a month, and I noticed I never see them. They only had a sofa. It looked like stuff come out of their house. A sofa and some end tables, and they never did go into the office. That they didn't have any computers or nothing nothing in the office. So one morning I came into work and I saw a bunch of liquor bottles in the trash. And I said, man, so they had been coming at night. I bought a lot of liquor bottles, like they were having parties. So I was outside cleaning off the dock, and the neighbor, the tenant across the street, we talk to each other sometimes. She said, Mary, y'all having parties at night. A lot of cars be here at night because they lived in their shop. They repaired Mercedes, and they lived in their shop. They were some hardworking people too. White couple. I was the only black person on the block. God, I can tell you some stories about that situation. But anyway, I told her that those the people that I was letting them rent some space in an office. She said, well, you need to watch them because they are some loud people. And I kind of told her that I would watch them, but knowing I didn't have time to watch them because sometime I would work late, but nobody would ever show up. So they didn't come to the shop every night. But one particular day, I would say about 6 people working for me, seamstress and upholsterers and just different things. About 6 of us, including myself. No, not including myself. So this guy, his name, I can't think of his name. We'll call him Steve, okay? And his wife, let's call her Lucy, Steve and Lucy. So this particular day, Steve came into the shop and he had a woman with him. I'm sitting at the store machine just buzzing away, and I see him come in, and I wave at him, but he kind of waved back. But he had this woman showing her all of my stuff. I'd say I had about $4,000 worth of material, big boats of beautiful fabric, and about 75 gold gilded chairs, dining room chairs. These was expensive chairs. I had them in there. And he was just showing her all of this stuff and pointing to it. And then he pointed to the workers. And I sat there and I said to myself, and my youngest son was sitting there. And when they left, he said, Mama, this, and he said, he didn't call him Steve. He said, this white boy is trying to act like everything in his shop belonged to him. He said, you need to check him. I said, well, what do I do? He's gone. So, I wasn't nothing I can correct him on, but I had to be cautious. But I was so busy working. That's all I did was work. Even on the weekends, I would work, work, work. So one particular morning, I was sitting at the sewing machine, and we had a burglar alarm on the shop. You had to set the alarm and before you go out because it would beep. This particular morning, Steve, we call him Steve, he came up to the shop, and he didn't, I'm sitting at the sewing machine, but he didn't come all the way to the sewing machine. He just yelled at me. He said, Mary, Mary, was the alarm set when you came in this morning? I said, come here, I can't hear you. And he yelled louder. He said, was the alarm set this morning? I said, yeah. He said, oh, good. Because I came up last night and I couldn't remember if I reset it. But I'm glad I was just worried. I said, yeah, I was set. He said, okay, I'm gone. So he left. And I'm sitting there just sewing and sewing away. Didn't think nothing about what this boy said. And this same voice, the voice that always tells me things, this voice says, Steve is going to try to steal from you. And I was so engrossed in this sewing project, I'm doesn't make smoke come out from the machine. And I didn't pay attention to the voice. And do you know this voice? I felt like somebody kicked me. And the voice said, didn't I tell you Steve was going to try to steal from you? And I stopped sewing and I turned the machine off so I could hear. And I got still. And I said, explain this to me. How is he going to steal from me? And this voice, I could tell it wasn't as angry as what it was, but it explained it to me. He said, asked me a question. He said, can you leave this shop without setting the alarm? And I said, can you leave the shop without setting the alarm? I couldn't answer the question, so I got up and went to where, in the front, where the alarm is. And I opened the door, and it beeps, beeps, beeps. This alarm beeps. You cannot leave this shop without setting the alarm. And I said, God, why did he say he forgot to set the alarm? And then I said, if I had forgot to set the alarm, or thought I forgot to set the alarm, I would come back. I wouldn't stay up half the night worrying about it. Just come back and see. So I said, God, what am I supposed to do? Because he is setting me up for a big theft, I mean. And so this voice tells me to reset the alarm, change the alarm code, and change the locks. So I changed the locks, and I told my son when he came by the shop after he got out of school, I told him what happened. And he said, Mama, I knew something was up with this boy. So he said, let's go home early, and we coming back up here tonight to see what's going down. So we left the shop at 5 o'clock. That was early for us, but we left at 5, and we came back to the shop by 7 o'clock that evening. So I started working a little bit, but I guess around 8 o'clock, I heard a key rambling at the lock. It was Steve trying to get in, and his key did not work. So he bammed on the door. I opened the door, met him at the door, and he had his girlfriend with him, a real dark-skinned girl with this wig on, and she was real skinny. And she was upset. She said, she was from Africa. Why does his key not work? Why does his key not work? What have you done? What have you done? They both were upset, and he was sweating, and I told him, I said, Steve, I have too much merchandise in this shop for you to forget to set the code and not come back to set it. And you trying to figure out if the alarm was set. I can't trust you. So when you come up here to this shop, you're going to have to come in the daytime, because what are you doing here at night anyway? I never see you do any work. You don't have any furniture in here. What is your purpose of being here? So he said, Mary, you can't do this to me. I need to work tonight. I said, well, you can work tonight because I'm here. I said, what are you working on? And she said, well, we go to our car. So we followed him out to the car. And then I said to myself, I hope this is not dangerous, because they could kill us. Because if he planned on really breaking into my shop tonight, he's going to be upset because it didn't go down. He probably had sold everything in my shop and needed the money. because he always wore long sleeves. It could be burning up hot. He would wear long sleeves, and she would too. And I guess they didn't want you to see their arms, but I thought it was weird. But she wanted to go back in the shop and argue some more. I told him, no arguments. I said, we haven't signed any papers. You don't have a lease here. I said, in fact, you need to move all your stuff out of here tomorrow. I'm through with you. We're not going to even deal with anything. Both of them were angry, and I said, we can call the police if you want to. But they left, and by the actions that he had that night, the sweating, oh, he was sweating. He looked at that alarm code and he wanted to cry. I said, no, don't, you can't come in here. I said, because the alarm is different, and I don't want you here tonight no way. Your key doesn't work. But I'm believing in my heart that this voice saved me from losing everything I had, because had I came to that shop, or he broken in, and alarm company called me and told me that all this merchandise in this shop was stolen, because I didn't have insurance, and I didn't know I was supposed to have insurance. I didn't know nothing about running a business. I'm gonna tell you another story about how I ended up getting this business without any money, not a dime. But had he stolen all my stuff, I believe I would have had a nervous breakdown. But my God saved me from that thing, because talking to me like that. Didn't I tell you that Steve was going to try to break into your shop? And it took me a while to figure it out, but he did come that night. And I'm saying all this to say, when you hear this voice, pay attention to it and obey it, because it can save your life. And we can go on in our own intuitions and our own ways and have all the confidence in the world and believe we are paddling our own canoe and we're driving our boats. And we can't see as far down the road as our Creator can. So you have to have, in fact, he's not even the co-pilot. He has to be the one driving, because he doesn't co-pilot anything. He might let you play around at the wheel and let you feel like you're driving, but you are not driving anything. I know I'm not. I'm not driving anything. Sometimes I feel like I'm in charge, but I'm not. And I have to remember and be humble and get out of the way, because I can be in my own self way. But I don't want to stay on too long. But I thought I'd bring this little tidbit of information by and let you know that we should try to remember the voice that will direct us. But I'll be back with another video about my life at the shop and being the only black woman down in the outskirts of downtown with an upholstery shop. I've seen a lot of things, and the police would come to my shop and want to know were we cleaning the building, because we would work at night, and they thought we were in there trying to break into the place. I said, no, I own this business. Oh, now y'all here cleaning the building? I said, no, sir. I have a key. And it still didn't make any difference. Now, he left thinking we were janitors and stuff. But it hadn't been an easy life that I've had, but I enjoyed what I did. I have a lot of injuries because I didn't have sense enough not to pick up sofas and chairs and stuff. And it's not good for your back and even your fingers. My hands, I have broken my fingers, and my hands are in bad shape from ripping furniture, and I've broken all of my knuckles. But I had children, 2 sons to raise on my own, because their father left when they were teenagers, adolescents. And that's a real hard time for them to go through. But I made it. That's what I'm thankful for. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here. And you all don't forget to subscribe and share.